Morning, Wednesday. Oh. Dull, miserable. Supposed to clear up, mind you. That's something. Oh. Early start this morning. Early start. I thought I was finished with Christmas. Well, building things, making things for Christmas anyway. But my honey that comes with my honey, Maria, it was on Messenger the other day there. Jim, you haven't got any bird boxes left? I went, oh, no. We don't, there's no money changes hands, it's more a trade. It's barter, which is very good, and I made one for father for his birthday there. But it was earlier in the year and I was making them. I had lots of offcuts of Western red cedar. And that and Tuesday bird tables. I still enjoy doing these things. I don't know why, but I still enjoy it. But anyway, I said, oh no, Maria. Oh, she says, it's just my auntie loved the one that she's got for her father. And within days of putting it up, and he's got biggish garden, but within days that putting it up, were birds nesting and the tits were nesting in it. And so she had commented on it, and of course Maria had said, oh, I'll probably do that for Christmas or not. So asked me if I had that. I didn't have any, I says, and I thought about it for a moment, and I went, so I've not got any Western red cedar, but I've got some cedar of Lebanon left, bits and pieces. Keep again. That goes a long way back. There's some story in the back of that one. The cedar of Lebanon came out of Edinburgh. My boss at the time, I was doing a lot of quite fancy work in terms of signs and oak and all lots of different things. And my boss at the time had been at Forestry College with the chap that ended up in charge. Edinburgh Council had a sawmill down at Inverleith there, not far from the Botanic Gardens. Wasn't it a big, what it was basically a slab, it was a horizontal band rack. But they had been in Edinburgh, of course, they had to pick up all the timbers that were coming in, taken down and all that kind of thing. And so, I'll not say how we ended up paying for it all, because it was a barter situation there too, but I won't go into that one at all, like, you know. But when I was in through picking some oak out, and they basically used to slab it all for us to the sizes that I wanted, and we'd bring it back to our mill at the time, and then take it down to finished sizes and things like that, and then machine it up and all the rest of it. But when I was in that day, I had spotted what I thought to be, but I knew it was cedar, but I thought it was Western red, but there was no bark or nothing on it. It was two big bowls, massive bowls, in amongst when I was looking at the oak and selecting the best of that. And we had a lich gate to build at the time, and I had commented to the boss that there's two big bowls of cedar in there. I says that would be perfect for a lich gate. It was a big fancy thing. I says easy to work. I hadn't thought it was Western. I didn't realise how dangerous a situation I was getting in. And the chap said, when we spoke to him, he says, oh, that's cedar of Lebanon. And of course I wasn't really clued up on cedar of Lebanon. Not really clued up on much to do with the dangers. Back then, of course, there was not as much information on how dangerous certain things could be in working. But we ended up getting it anyway. Cut a long story short, I'm back to cutting a long. I never cut long stories short. I go on and on forevermore. Anyway, I was going to show you so we ended up with the cedar of Lebanon, and it was beautiful to work with, absolutely gorgeous, lovely stuff to work with. but the dust off it is extremely dangerous. But I'm still here, so after I found out about it, I went, oh, anyway, we built, had bits and pieces left, and we built this for Maria's auntie for our Christmas. A little bit fancy wee bits on and whatnot, and a little card, tag on it for her, and put my own wee thing on the back of it, like, you know, and but it works out really nice. It worked out really nice, and so there's a honey swap. She'll come on Friday. She's coming on Friday for it. I hope that's not a problem, Jim. I said, well, no, it's not. I wish I was, in all honesty. I quite enjoyed it, but I was busily working on something else at the time, and I could have probably done without it, but I did enjoy it. I always enjoy these little things, and because I'm only doing the one, I put a little bit more into it. If I'm building them like half a dozen or a dozen at a time, normally the spring of the year or early spring, to sell them, they're still a good box, such, but there's nothing terribly fancy, but they're good. They're always built out of Western red cedar, because I go where the guys do a lot of milling and that, and I get a lot of offcuts and various things, and it works out really well. Whether I'll do it next year, I don't really know, but we'll see, we'll see. But I'm quite pleased with it, and as I say, there are bits and pieces lying about, and these were the actual pieces I had turned for when I was making the lich gate. There was 2 or 3 of them left too, and these were washers, wooden washers that went on, and the metal washer got set into it, and the fancy dome-headed nuts and things, and so yeah, it's no longer there now. It's scrapped, taken down, because not that it was rotten or anything, no, because it's cedar leather and it'll go on forever. But we had a change in management which decided that, and a change in direction where this, I'll not say where this particular thing was, but they decided that it was no use anymore. It was perfect actually, because people who were coming to that had somewhere to stand sheltered and waiting on taxis or people picking them up or whatever it may be. But obviously that wasn't considered when they took it bloody down. So now there's nothing there. So they just stand in the rain, and and there's a lot of bloody work in that. But I mean, I got paid to build them. I don't got paid to look after them. I don't police them. You can't police these people anyway. I mean, they've got fixed ideas in their head and the way they go. They don't consider these things, of course. The reasons why it was there in the first place, and it was a popular thing to get photographs when people were getting married and that kind of thing. When they used to come, there was a function suite at it, but only for small weddings. But an awful lot of couples used to come and get their photographs taken in below it, that kind of thing. It was one of the nicer things that I was involved with all these years ago. But so that was that. So I thought I'd make, this is going to be the last, by the way, the last, I'm thinking that it would be the last video I'm going to make with this iPad. I was investing in the future the other day there, and I did. I bought myself a new iPad Pro, and so I didn't get the full memory job. I got 128 gigabytes. I think that's more than enough for me. But I was busy setting up. I didn't personally. My daughter went and got it for me, and I paid her. She paid it through her bank, and I paid her. And so she brought it last night, and was, I think, was keen to set it up for me, but at which point I stopped her. I said, no. I said, leave it with me. I said, no, I'll set it up myself. Oh, I said, what's the point? I said, so I wanted to do it, so I ended up doing it. And Apple, what can you say about Apple? So the product's so bloody good, and there's just too many of them now. So you're difficulty trying to figure out what one you should actually bloody go for. So I had to go for the best, because I didn't want to be disappointed in a 6 months' time or whatever that I hadn't really bought this one. And even though it was an expensive thing, but then you get that many different bits and pieces that go with Apple. But I was converted to Apple a few years ago. The son, by the way, bought with the one that I'm using right now. He bought me and his mother one each that time, and it's very decent and very good of him. Like, you know, very generous of him to do that. But I think he was trying to get us involved in the process. We were knocking about with different kind of things altogether, Androids and various other bits and bobs. And there's no doubt that Apple's the way to go. I mean, it's so good to work, so easy to work. This thing, by the way, I self-believe it's got face recognition. And I'm saying to myself, how's that going to go? Like, but it was so simple, and 2 scans, and what a bloody treat, like, you know. It is a fantastic product. The problem with me is I'm not bloody clever enough to use it all yet, though I will try and get the best of it, best out of it, but it'll be a slow process, because but I'm going to enjoy it. I am going to enjoy it as such. Yeah, I don't think I'll need to replace it somehow or other. The one I've got has been a great thing. It's still in really good condition, but it's a second generation one, and it's old now, and it's slow. It's this, it's that. It's not got memory worth speaking about on the bloody thing and whatnot. So yeah, it's time to invest in. So we decided that we'd do this, but even the experience of opening the box and taking the box out of the box that it comes in, because the box is so well designed that it comes in that actually the box with the iPad in it floats inside the other box. It's suspended in a way that none of it comes into contact with the outside. Marvellous experience. You just thoughts. There are a lot of thought put into things. You can see the detail. You can see where, yeah, they're maximising your experience of it from the very word go. From the moment you get the box and open it, it is a pleasurable business all the way through. So easy to do. But then I'm sounding like I'm bloody. I think Apple was busy sponsoring me, like they're a bad deal, like, you know. Kind. Anyway. We'll leave you with this bird box. This is it, like, you know. We're quite chuffed with that, and so yes, I don't think there's any more I'm going to do to it. So have yourself a braw Christmas, as it's on the card. Heart and stroke and various things that came from that one a long time ago, knocking about. Anyway, we're going. Bell has rung, and I've got things to do. So I need to crack on. Anyway, all the best, take care, and we'll catch you again. Cheers. Bye.